Warning! The following podcast contains swears, movie nerds, and gory scenes from films. So for the weak audience, here's a picture of Jerry Seinfeld to calm your nerves. For the rest, viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the first ever episode of whatever podcast title we give this for American Independent Film class with AJ Garcia. Shout outs to the B-Man. I'm Paul Flores. I'm also here with Brian Ayuso and Edgar Teran. Say hi, guys.
Hi.
So we are doing a review on Shopping Mall, the movie released back in 1986 from director
Jim Wynorski, right?
Yep, Jim Wynorski.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's give a little background detail on this. Synopsis-wise, 8 teenagers are trapped after hours in a high-tech shopping mall and pursued by 3 murderous security robots out of control. I was looking into this film. I was looking into details about it. So, the film was released 2 times, actually, in theaters. It was released for a limited release on March 14th, and then it got a New York City release on November 14th of the exact same year. And originally, it had a different name to it, too. The film was going to be called Killbots, but executives were like, no, this sounds like a sci-fi film for kids. Let's try to rename it so we get pissy with parents. But yeah, the movie stars Kelly Maroney, Tony O'Dell, there's John Terlesky, Russell Todd. I was surprised by Russell Todd because he was also in Friday Part 2, which was surprising. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't realize that.
No, yeah, and a lot of this film has a lot of old school horror actors from other franchises, and especially for a B horror film like this, you can tell what it's trying to go up against. Seeing how this is the 80s and a lot of horror films are coming out this time. You had Nightmare, you had Friday the 13th also coming up with its other sequels, and then Halloween was also coming up with some stuff. But I can pass it over to you, Brian. What do you think of the film? What's your thoughts on it?
Before I share my thoughts, actually, it's interesting to keep it in mind. Terminator released 2 years before this, so this is kind of like a B movie answer to Terminator, right? Just in a shopping mall, and also a little fun fact: this movie was produced by Julie Corman, who is the wife of Roger Corman, who's the king of B movie horror in this time. And he also directed the first Fantastic Four movie that nobody has seen, but it's about the same quality as this one.
I heard Fantastic Four. I'm like, there's a Fantastic Four horror movie? Just watching the Thing and viciously murder a bunch of people in order to save New York.
I wish. But, all things considered, I like this movie. I did. Yeah. It's not good, but it has a B movie charm to it, right?
Correct.
It's really short, right? It's 70 minutes, something like that, or 80 minutes. I don't think it's 90, is it?
The movie is around 77 minutes.
For this kind of movie, it's kind of perfect, It's not too long. It's 77 minutes of just people saying really stupid, insane things and blowing up gas canisters and dying and
horny teenagers.
Yeah, exactly. They have an orgy in a furniture store, which is I didn't think so. Yeah, the scariest part to me is the part when what's the kind of douchebag guy's name is Michael, right? The first
Michael, yes.
Yeah. When he goes to buy some cigarettes, he's scared it's $1.25. His brain would be fried if he, lived in 2026. But I thought it was good. It was really violent and stupid.
Was there any parts of the film that you didn't like? Anything that you think?
Oh, so much.
Explain, do detail. We have shit on
the dialogue for one. There's some weird lines in this, man. There's some weird moments. It's kind of funny. Whenever the robot is coming for them, they just kind of stand around it and curse it instead of running or I'm gonna pass it over to Edgar. What do you think?
I mean, I honestly think that it was something different for sure. I don't know what was the budget or anything, but what was the budget of the film? Because I think that that's something key too, that for a low budget film, they did something really well. Like, you know, you have plot, you have some things of comedy too. I think if you analyze it like as a little bit of a comedy horror film, is not too bad. For sure, it make me laugh. For example, I found insane the fact that, you know, they say have a great day. Thank you. Have
Yeah.
a great day.
After every kill,
after every
yeah.
kill. That's insane. Like, you know, add a little bit. But yeah, I love it. I think that that was, you know, like those little things added to the film, and the fact that, you know, they were having sex on a furniture store that was also crazy. I think that it was good.
Then I go over to me. Jesus. Let me go into the goods of this film. I love the use of the killer bots. These guys serving as like the villain works so well, specifically for like the hidden meaning behind this film. I was looking into notes about this film, and according to like notes and research, the movie is actually supposed to be like a take on Reaganism and fascistic like imperialism or industrialism. So the killer bots serving as like these sort of like replacements. Like at the beginning of the film, you see that they're being shown as like, oh, these are the next new security guards they're gonna hire and have to protect them all. As the people look around them, they're like just like, oh god, these are gonna hire these guys, which also serves as a new like kind of modern commentary on like AI, how AI now replaces anyone like filmmakers, doctors, nurses, even like lawyers. So that's like a cool kind of take on that. Looking back at this film, and even during a time that can relate to now. I really do love the setting a lot. The setting is really well done. Again, it reminds me like Romero's like Day of the Dawn of the Dead, if you kind of think about it too.
That took place in a shopping mall as well, right?
Exactly, and it also again ties back to theme, like the whole hidden core message the film is trying to portray. As we see people fuck and then get killed by a killer bot, which is I think while you're kind of your typical average American day civilization, it's I will be honest with you, it is not good. It's a B horse like it's a cheesy B horror film like that. Exactly, like it's like exactly it's a B horror movie you watch when you're like either drunk or you want to enjoy all the horror movies, because again horror at the time wasn't as big as now. Like if you look at like Obsession compared to this, it's like the Obsession has so much more kind of stuff to it that at least gives it a really good like viewpoint, whereas Shopping Mall, it's like it's good for its time. It's still not a good film, but it does have a good message that I think, again, as I mentioned earlier, correlates to nowadays. I really do love the characters in this film, while their dialogue is as poor as fuck, and I do agree with you on that. I think Furry's one of the interesting characters of the film, even though the fact that he gets injured like right throughout the third act and then comes back at the end. Yeah, and
He's like blood coming out his head too.
No, exactly, and I was what the, I was like, where, I was looking like, damn, he got shot. Okay, he decided to fucking take the bullet, but bro was still knocked out. I mean, I'd soon be dead by the end of the film, and keeping our main character at least surviving.
Yeah,
but like I said, the movie is it's not good, but I do think it's fun. Also, while researching, according to like an article from Variety, there was supposed to be a remake coming out in 2011 for this film.
Why?
Why?
So like let me so 2011 I wrote this down. Robert Hall, who was one of the heads of Dry Count Entertainment, acquired the rights to the original 18 Days film and wanted to do his own twist on it. So according to him, he was like, let me like retain the concept of the film, the concept of like young people traveling a mall, but we're gonna make this shit darker and really have a more supernatural spin on it. The remake never happened. I think he was like I looking back at the article, he had passed away while they were on it, and they were also trying to put it up in the ground to actually work on it, but several issues were involved, and thus it was scrapped. But the idea of a remake to this film could be interesting because, I mean, like, big example right now, Ice Cream Man's coming out with a remake, and the original one is just an iconic cheesy slasher about an ice cream man who just kills kids, but actually kills people because of traumatic moments because he's supposed to be like a psych ward patient. But their own twist on it for the remake, which is directed by Eli Roth actually, is more so that the ice cream man kind of like, it looks like he hypnotizes or he just tricks these kids into killing the adults rather than him doing the deed. So like the idea of a supernatural spin on this being a remake of like Chopping Mall would have been super interesting to see what they could have done with the concept and how could like kind of like change certain aspects but keep that original maintenance of it.
And do you think that if they do a remake, they will keep the same, you know, like cheesy quality, or they will try to do an actual horror film?
2003 Texas Chainsaw remake kind of did that. Like they kind of kept a lot of the cheesy moments of what made Texas Chainsaw so iconic, and they added new shit to it by actually upping up some of the stakes and antics, while still keeping that idea of what made Texas great. Why like 2022's like remake didn't work so well was because it tried to add so much onto it, plus going on to a whole entire like trend when like the 2010s like versions of sequel remakes where you bring back the original character, original survivor too, and then try to make that be the story. So like if they were to remake this film, it would be interesting, but more so how it'd play out was a more curiosity to me. Like how was this gonna go? Sadly, we don't have one. We don't even got I think any of the news on it, so to say, because as I mentioned, the Robert Hod passed away.
That's a shame. I mean, I guess for me, my question is, like, was the studio going to remake it, or was it still indie? What, like, do you know?
I was looking into it, and it appeared that the studio was going to work with it, and then Robert was going to be in charge of directing, but also having someone, I think, involved also with the original film, come back as either head executive producer, or we work with it. And it wasn't much detail on it, though, when I was looking at the Variety article, because, like, there wasn't really a lot of, like, detail on it. It wasn't, like, a lot of information. We could see certain aspects of it, but as, like, getting to know it, it's more about, like, what was the intention.
Yeah, I mean, intention is the biggest thing to me because, like, thinking about, like, this movie specifically, this is a really, like, bizarre movie to remake, but also, like, does a movie like this, which is kind of, like, you know, an indie darling, does it lose its charm, like, the moment it becomes a studio thing?
I mean, there's a big example. I think recently last year, Silent Night, Deadly Light had a remake, and for a fun fact for the audience, there's two versions of the film. There's the 2012 version, which literally straight up rejects the idea of what the original was. So for context, the original film is about a kid who sees his parents get killed by Santa Claus. He has a traumatic experience, and when he grows up and he has to take the role of Santa Claus for his job, he goes haywire and starts killing people, dotting the killer Santa. It spawned multiple sequels. The sequels went nowhere with it. The 2012 remake does something different where it adds now this sort of like kind of like buddy cop sort of thing. More meets like, let's say Spyro from the Book of Saw meets the Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Where like it doesn't make fucking sense, but it works well. However, in 2025, the remake come out. I'd seen it last year during December, and it's really good. I do think it does also a new spin on it. It keeps the same aspect of, the main character experiences a trauma. However, the Santa Claus gets killed and his soul is spiritually sucked into the main character. So the main character still kills as the Santa Claus, but the guy that he saw die transfers his entire soul into his body, speaks to him like almost sort of like a schizophrenic sort of talk bubble, right? And so the entire movie follows that, while he also then discovers he falls in love with a girl. So it becomes a sense of like the character has this kind of arc moment, and it works. Like I do love that. So like if we go to this film, like Chopping Mall, they could do something where, let's say like the entire like they can do a remake, and even if it's Killer Boss, it could be something else that can like take a charge of it, but without like taking the aspect of what made the film kind of like lovable to that time period. Like a remake could work when it comes to the fact of keeping what made the original and especially mood and tone of what made the original like be such a staple in horror.
So a quick question for you guys: do you have any specific scene that you found super cringy that make you laugh?
I think just the entire scenes where like they're fucking shooting the bots. They're just shooting the bots and they don't do shit.
It's like
that would it's like what
the lasers.
Yeah, no, my favorite scene in the movie is what's the name of Michael's girlfriend?
I got it here. I think it was
Sue?
Not
Maybe?
Susie. I either think it was Allison or either Mary. Might have been Allison. I'm not sure. Leslie. It was Leslie. It was Leslie.
Yeah, no, the scene where Leslie, she just kind of stands and her head gets exploded. That was pretty funny. Also, when it cut back to her, her head was still attached.
Correct.
Wild continuity, dude. I really did love the special effects on that. I really do love that, especially like someone who loves horror a lot and loves like practical effects. It's really good done.
Yeah, you know that's actually the point I wanted to bring up. Like back in you know the 80s, you could get away with a lot more like cheesy special effects.
Yep.
The kind of sad thing about like indie films now is you can't really get away with that because the standard has been raised so much over the years. Like you can't do like the lasers thing, like people don't buy it. You can't do like the head explosion that just looks like shit, but it kind of looks amazing. You can't really do it anymore, which is a shame. But
yeah, no, I agree with that too. Cause like, really, like looking back at old horror movies like that, like as you mentioned, like it's like you really, or if you just like budget it too, like budget becomes an issue when it comes to like making an indie film because you worry about budget and then you're like, shit, am I gonna have enough money to make this? And then you start too asphyxiated, you never get the product you're done. So that because of other issues well to that. Would you have any final feedback to the film? Anything you think, like anything else you're missing? Anything else you think, like what you think? What do you think? You want to compare some stuff to it? I don't know, funny, make some fun joke about it. That post-credit scene kind of makes funny though. Honestly, I would bring up that post-credit scene of the film. Just fucking random. I did like that. I did like it at least. Think of like a sequel where it's like there was a post-credit. So there's a post-credit scene where it's just a voice. It's a voice that just says, I think it was supposed to say, have a nice day, have a great day. So it's just retelling, it's just a robot. So it could just sound nice that the robots are still alive. But again, this never got a sequel because, well, who the fuck's gonna watch the sequel to Shopping Mall? Only me. But
it didn't. Okay, so sorry. Correct. So it can get a remake potential, but it didn't get no sequel.
So I do wanna that was an interesting thought I had too because there's like a big example here. So like I mentioned Silent Light earlier. Silent Light had remakes. It had a sequel too. I think also with Chopping Mall, I think the reason why I didn't get a sequel more because where can you take with that concept? Like there's movies that I do like. Big example when we go into Backrooms later on, like I do think that film doesn't deserve a sequel. However, when you kind of rewatch that, I think there's some potential because it's an idea that can construct into different aspects and roads. Or fucking Joker, for example, where that movie didn't deserve a sequel, but yet the studio was like, let's make a sequel. Because you can make a film like Joker where you can end it off in this sort of like question and let the audience interpret what the film ending is or interpret what the film was to begin with the idea. But usually certain movies don't deserve a sequel when it's like, oh, let's say this, like Chopping Mall. I think the simple idea is plain enough and it's there. If you add a sequel onto it, I think you then also now go again with the idea of industrialization or industrialism with this film because now you're just adding a sequel that has no context and serves no purpose. That then you're kind of contradicting that entire point of the first film.
Right.
Like Toy Story has it, but Toy Story at least has ideas with it. However, sometimes the ideas don't work perfectly. It's why 4 is kind of one of the rough ones in the series for me, but 3 is still a great ending. Why I'm also kind of skeptical with 5 because 5 is bringing back some new ideas, but also bringing it back off the nostalgia train that made Toy Story what it was. Nightmare on Elm Street is a big thing too with it. Nightmare has so many sequels. That's why the remake was so terrible. They had to straight up can the plug. And right now there's talks of a new film being worked on, at least to kind of bring back what made Freddy Freddy. It's why also Scream has an issue too. Scream 7 had come out and that had issues as well. It literally had several issues regarding production to even the release and even to the reveal. It like there's certain movies that can get a sequel, but it's how do you plan the sequel out and how do you deserve to like try and figure out a new way to approach the idea that you had in the previous film, but also not tainting the idea as well. That's when you can make a sequel.
Dude, what rate do you give to this film from 1 to 10?
I will give this though, like it's a fine film. It's a film that you would rather watch when you're high or just sober because it's like it's not fucking great. It's not terrible either. It's like a film you just want to watch to feel better about yourself. Like that's what I could give it. It's a good out of like what the fuck.
And you, Brian?
I mean, I'm conflicted because it's not good. So like a 5 maybe, but also I had so much fun watching it. So maybe like a 6. Maybe it's a little high. No, a 5. A 5. What about you?
4. I would say a 4. Even though I enjoy it, you know, it makes me laugh. It's just like if you analyze it as a horror film, even though it was, you know, from back then and everything, it has some flaws in the lines. For example, like in the for sure with a low budget and everything, they could do that better. I think that the editing a little bit was a little bit crazy sometimes.
I noticed a few wipes, like Star Wars.
Like it is what it is, you know. I think that it works as a comedy a little bit with horror. You know, I enjoyed it honestly. So,
Yeah,
which
but I have
was
a
the
question. I have a question. Do you guys think it works as a love story? Because technically, it is one.
Hey, if I can say it's a better love story than Twilight, then I'll give it at least a 5 out of 5, dude. I'll just give it that. If it's a better love story than Twilight. That concludes our episode. I hope whoever's listening to this enjoys it. And please, I do recommend for all of you to watch this film. Go get your own experience, get your own opinion out there. Just don't be like
Yeah.
Twitter users and trying to hate on a film for no reason.
2 shots of tequila and you're good. You'll love it.
And some heroin.
What? No, no.
Cock that part, cock it.
My bad. Weed.
You don't endorse that here. But maybe.
Well, well,
Yeah.
guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.